9 people are dead. They did not die in a war. They were not criminals. They were not alone in the wild without experience. They were young, strong, trained. And in one single night, something made them cut their tent from the inside and walk into deadly snow. This is not a legend. This is real. It was January 1959. 9 university students from the Ural Polytechnic Institute in the Soviet Union planned a winter hiking trip. Winter hiking in Russia is not simple. Temperatures can drop to -30 degrees Celsius. -30 means so cold your skin can freeze in minutes. But these hikers were experienced. They had done difficult trips before. They knew snow. They knew mountains. They trusted each other. Their leader was Igor Dyatlov. He was calm, organized, responsible. They were not afraid of the cold, but something else was waiting. On February 1st, they reached a mountain called Kholat Shakal. The name means dead mountain. Yes, dead mountain, but that name did not scare them. It was late afternoon. The weather was getting worse. Strong wind, heavy snow. They decided to camp on the slope of the mountain. A slope means the side of a hill, not flat ground. This decision was important. They could have gone down into the forest. The forest would give protection from wind, but they stayed higher. Why? Maybe they wanted to save time the next day. Maybe they did not see danger. Or maybe they did not expect what would happen. They built their tent on the snowy slope. They cooked, they laughed, they wrote in their diaries. Nothing strange, nothing scary, just 9 friends in the mountains. Then night came. Now imagine this. It is dark. You are inside a small tent. The wind is pushing against the fabric. Outside it is freezing. Inside it is quiet. Then something happens. We do not know what, but we know their reaction. And their reaction was extreme. Sometime during the night, they cut their tent open from the inside. From the inside means they did not use the door. They used a knife. Why would 9 experienced hikers destroy their only shelter? They left boots behind. They left warm jackets behind. Some were wearing only socks. Some were almost barefoot at -30 degrees. No one does that without a reason. Rescuers found footprints in the snow, 9 sets of footprints. They were not running. They were walking, slowly, side by side. This is important. If they were escaping a sudden danger, they would run. But the footprints showed control, calm movement, like they believed they would return soon. But they never returned. The first 2 bodies were found under a large cedar tree. They had tried to make a fire. Small branches were broken up to 5 meters high. 5 meters means very high for a human without tools. Maybe they climbed the tree. Maybe they were trying to see something in the distance. Maybe they were hiding. Both died from hypothermia. Hypothermia means the body becomes too cold and cannot survive. But this is only the beginning. 3 more bodies were found between the tree and the tent. They were lying as if they were trying to return. They were facing the tent. They wanted to go back. They did not make it. Cold killed them too. At least that is what the report says. But the final 4 were different, very different. The last 4 bodies were found 2 months later. They were under deep snow and a ravine. A ravine is a deep, narrow valley. Their injuries were shocking. One had a fractured skull. Fractured means broken. 2 had crushed ribs. Crushed means pressed very hard, like in a car crash. Doctors said the force was strong, like a serious accident, but there were no external wounds. External means outside the body. Their skin was not damaged. How can bones break without outside injury? One woman was missing her tongue. Yes, her tongue was gone. Some say animals did it, some say something else. No one knows for sure. There were also strange details. Some clothes had small traces of radiation. Radiation means invisible energy that can be dangerous. Not extremely high, but unusual. Witnesses in the area reported orange lights in the sky. Were they rockets, military testing, or something else? Now, let us think carefully. If there was an avalanche, a sudden fall of snow, they would run fast. But the tent was still standing. It was not buried, and footprints remained clear. An avalanche usually destroys everything, so maybe not an avalanche. Another theory says infrasound. Infrasound is very low sound waves. Humans cannot hear them clearly, but they can cause anxiety. Anxiety means strong fear without clear reason. Maybe wind around the mountain created this sound. Maybe it made them panic. But panic usually causes chaos, running, screaming. Yet their footprints were calm, controlled. What about military weapons? In 1959, the Soviet Union was testing secret technology. Maybe a parachute mine exploded nearby. A parachute mine is a bomb that falls slowly before exploding. The shock wave, strong air force, could break ribs without outside wounds. That matches the injuries. But there was no clear evidence, no official proof. The government closed the case. The final report said the cause of death was an unknown compelling force. Unknown compelling force. Compelling means powerful and impossible to resist. Unknown means they did not know, or they did not want to say. Now, let us return to that moment. Inside the tent. Dark, cold wind outside. Something makes Igor Dyatlov decide. He cuts the fabric. He tells the group to leave. They do not argue. They do not fight. They leave together. That shows trust and shared fear. Fear of something bigger than cold, bigger than snow. Imagine standing outside in underwear, snow under your feet, wind hitting your face, and you choose not to go back immediately. Why? What was near that tent or inside it? Some experts say snow slowly covered part of the tent. The group feared collapse. Collapse means falling down suddenly. They left to avoid being buried. But again, the damage was small, not enough to explain this reaction. Here is another detail. Some of the hikers changed clothes later. The stronger ones gave clothes to the weaker ones. This shows they were thinking, helping, not acting crazy. They tried to survive. They built a fire. They dug a snow shelter. They made decisions. This was not madness. This was fear mixed with logic, which makes it more mysterious. Time passed. Cold became stronger. Energy became weaker. One by one, they fell. Some tried to go back to the tent. Maybe they believed the danger was gone. Maybe they thought they overreacted. But by then, it was too late. The mountain kept its silence. Snow covered the evidence. Wind erased answers. Families waited. The search team was confused. How could 9 intelligent people make this decision, together, at the same time? Years later, investigators reopened the case. Modern studies suggest a small slab avalanche. A slab avalanche is a block of hard snow that slides down. It does not destroy everything. It can create fear. Maybe they thought more snow would fall. Maybe they left quickly to wait in the forest. But they underestimated the cold. This theory explains some details, but not all. The internal injuries remain strange. The missing tongue remains strange. The radiation remains strange. And that is why this case is powerful, because it is possible but not fully explained. Natural causes, human error, or something hidden. 9 young hikers, full of dreams, standing on a mountain called Dead Mountain. One night, one decision, one moment of fear, and history changed. When we study disasters, we look for mistakes. We want a simple answer: avalanche, storm, accident. But sometimes the truth is complex. Complex means not simple, many parts. Maybe fear and nature together created this tragedy. Maybe the real enemy was invisible: wind, sound, pressure, darkness. Now imagine yourself in that tent. You hear something. You feel movement. Your leader says, "We leave now." You trust him. You cut the tent. You step into the night. You believe you will return in 10 minutes, but those 10 minutes become your lost. 9 people are dead. The mountain still stands. Snow still falls there. Tourists visit the place. It is now called Dyatlov Pass, named after the leader. A quiet reminder of how fast safety can disappear. The case remains officially unsolved in the hearts of many, because even if science explains part of it, the human question remains. What did they feel in that exact moment? Was it fear? Was it sound? Was it something in the dark? We will never hear their final words. Only the wind remembers. 9 hikers, 1 mountain, a tent cut from the inside, and a mystery that refuses to die. If you were there, would you stay inside the tent, or would you run into the snow? Think carefully, because they believed they were making the right choice, and that choice was their last.